Hey, okay, so about 4 months ago, Look Mum No Computer made a video where he turned a Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, into a synthesizer, an FM synthesizer. And when I saw the video, I was like, wow, he's hit Nintendo, Sega, and Commodore. Where the heck is Atari? So that sent me off on this kind of chase to track down how to make music with an Atari 2600. And I came up with this. A keyboard controller for the SynthCart. And why am I bringing this up now and holding the cartridge upside down? It's because he made a video just a couple of days ago, so I want to make sure I get my digs in while I can. So what constitutes the need for all this? Well, the answer is simple. These things. These keyboard controllers. Now, Sam was lucky enough to have touchpad controllers, which I found were a little more hard to get, but whatever. These things are ungodly abominations that beg for apocalypse. They are terrible. And playing any sort of legitimate music on them is very, very difficult. I mean, even if you're doing this kind of thing, it's so unintuitive and messy. And the drum pad is fine, but if you wanna, it's a mess. If you wanna play white noise, pressing the buttons like that, it's just terrible. I hate these things. And they work fine for math games, but not for playing music. So what was I gonna do to fix this problem? Well, it turns out that the schematics for these things are readily available, and not only that, but they're dead simple. It's just a switch matrix and 2 resistors. That's it. And so, since I have 0 experience in soldering and electronics, that made things very easy for me. So after a couple months of screwing around, I came up with this, and let me tell you, it is freaking amazing. I love it so much. So this thing, as cool as it looks, because of course it looks cool, the operation is very simple. Those 2 matrices, from the diagram are laid out underneath here. You have one piece of strip board that has the 4 resistors, and then 1 matrix for each controller. And so you can set up one as the lead and one to be a beatbox, or you can change them around. So what's the benefit of this? Obviously, you can play it a lot easier. And even though I don't play keyboard or anything, this is just for fun. Also, you can, since you have this and it's more of a drum pad, you can actually play white noise and the engine sound as if it's drums, like a drum kit. Now the way I have it set up right now, though, is this is a beatbox and this is engine noise. But if I wanted to change that, since they're both their own isolated matrices, all you need to do is reverse the controller ports, and they're labeled keyboard and drum pad. So I just plug the drum pad into the lead side. I don't play anything, so I'm just totally noodling. Something like that. I'm terrible, but you know, you can figure it out for yourself. And if you're really skilled and you want to play a rhythm and a melody at the same time, you can. So what about the layout? There is actually a logic to how this is all laid out. The drum pad is pretty obvious. All the red buttons are rhythm selects, and this is the stop button. So you pick a rhythm, and then you stop. And when you have it set to engine or noise, this whole thing is a drum pad. Here, each row of 3 represents a line each group of 3 represents a line on the keyboard pad. This comes in very handy when you're navigating menus. So you can see when I flip it over, I actually have them labeled. Okay, well, I sort of have them labeled. Look through that maze of wires and you can see that each switch corresponds to a number, with 1 being the lowest here, and the octothorpe, yeah, it's not a hashtag, it's an octothorpe, being the highest note. So that allows you to navigate the menus fairly easily. So as far as build quality goes, I mean, it's obviously made out of Lego. All the switches are held in place, the keys don't bounce back because of the way it is. And probably my favorite thing about it is that the keys, the lead keys are all overstock industrial micro switches, so I've got some crazy clickety-clackety to them, which might not be the best for a musician, but I'm not a musician, so I love it. And all the drum pads are smaller micro switches, and they sound like frickin' mechanical keyboard keys. It's amazing. The chords are reproduction, and that actually caused me a ton of trouble because the pinouts for these are different from the original keyboard controller ones, and that threw me for a loop when I was trying to read the schematic and do all the colors, and I actually had to go off of pin numbers rather than wire colors. So yeah, that about wraps it up for my Atari SynthCart keyboard controller. I hope you enjoyed this little tribute to Look Mum No Computer. If you're interested in what he's done, obviously go check out his channel. As for me, I don't plan on releasing videos soon, but there's always stuff in the works, so I don't know. Feel free to leave a comment with what you think I could do better, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.